Welcome back for Hands-on Equations Lesson 4. Again, for today's lesson, you will need your blue pawns as well as number cubes and your scale. So today we are going to continue again with our legal moves of being able to remove the same thing at the same time from both sides and remembering to use both hands. But today, I want us to think about not just removing a pawn simultaneously, but the idea that if you remove the same value, if the same value is removed at the same time simultaneously, then the equation is still going to be balanced. Okay, so let's keep this in mind as we set up our first equation today. So our first equation is going to be 2x plus 4 equals 10. So go ahead and use your pieces. On the left-hand side, we'll have 2x and a value of 4. And on the right-hand side, we will have a value of 10. So with this example, in lesson 4, we are thinking of removing the same value, whereas in lesson 3, we just thought about moving pawns. Well, in this case, I can't simplify the equation by removing any pawns because I only have pawns on the left-hand side and I do not have any on the right-hand side. So I can't move pawns simultaneously to still balance the equation. However, I do have value on both sides. And so this legal move works the same way. If we remove the same value from each side of the equation, then our equation will still be balanced. So let's try it. The largest value that I have on this side of the equation is 4. And so over here, I have at least 4. I have greater than 4. I have 10. So at the same time, remember using two hands, I'm going to remove the value of 4 from the right-hand side, and at the same time, I'm going to remove or subtract 4 from the, from the left-hand side, and then from over here, from the right-hand side, I'm also going to subtract 4. So 10 minus 4 would leave us with 6. So I simultaneously took the value of 4 off of both sides, and that way, because we removed the same value, our equation is still going to be balanced, and now we were able to solve it. So now we have 2x equals 6, so that tells us that x is going to be equal to 3. Because 3 plus 3 is 6. Remember, when you go to check your equation, it is very important that you set the equation back up with using the original equation. So we need to start 2x plus 4 and then equals 10. If you don't change it back to the original equation, you're going to think that you did not get the correct answer. So let's go back and check to make sure 3 balances our equation. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 6 plus 4 is 10, and 10 equals 10. So our check would be 10 equals 10. All right, let's try another one using the same concept of if we remove the same value, simultaneously the equation will still be balanced. So let's go ahead and try this one. Okay, so go ahead and set it up, and I'll set mine up. 4x plus 5 equals 2x plus 13. And remember, you can make 13 however you choose to make 13. All right, so once you have it set up, the first thing that you're going to do is we're going to see if we can simplify. Okay, we'll first start off to see if we can simplify by removing pawns. So it looks like in order to, I can remove one pawn from each side, and then I can remove another pawn from each side. Okay, now I'm going to see if I can remove the same value from each side simultaneously. So I have 5 on this side and 13 on this side. So I want to remove 5 from this side to get this side down to having no number cubes. And then over here, we want to remove 5 or subtract 5. So 13 minus 5 would give us 8. Okay. So now our equation is simplified. We now have 2x equals 8. And so that is going to tell us that each x is going to be equivalent to 4. Remember, when we go back to check, we need to set up the equation, the original equation. It's very important that you set up back to the original equation. All right, let's check it by inputting our 4's for x's. So we have 4 4's, or 4 times 4 would be 16. And 16 plus 5 would be 21. Over here we have 2 4's, which would be 8. And 8 plus 13 would be 21. So our check would be 21 equals 21. All right, let's do another one. If you're feeling awesome, you can try to go do the classwork on your own. If you want to stay with me, we'll do 2 more examples together. So first step is to set it up. 2x plus x plus x plus 2 equals 2x plus 10. Okay, so again, we are trying to simplify our equation to get it down to be as easy as possible so we don't have to do much thinking. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove a pawn from each side. We're going to remove another pawn or another x from each side. And now we're just left with 2 x's on this side, and there's no more pawns that we can remove. So now let's try to remove some value. I have a value of 2 over here and I have a value of 10. So if I remove or subtract 2 from each side, I'm going to have 0. And over here, I'm going to end up being 10 minus 2 would be 8. So I am down to a very simple problem of x plus x equals 8. And that tells us that x is going to be 4. Set up the problem back to the original problem and check your work. So we have 4, 4, 4, 4, so we have 16 plus 2 more would be 18. And over here we have 4 plus 4 plus 10, which would equal 18. So our check is 18 equals 18. Hey friends, at any time that you're feeling ready, you can go on and move to your classwork, but we will do one more together. You can see that the problems are starting to get larger with some bigger numbers. It's the same process. So go ahead and clear your boards. Go ahead and set up. So we have x plus 3x plus 3 equals x plus 18. And again, remember you can make 18 however you choose. Okay. All right. First step is going to be, can you remove any pawns in order to simplify the equation? So yes, at the same time, we're going to pick up a pawn from each side, or an x, and we're going to remove it. We can no longer remove any pawns, so that tells us we're going to try to remove value, because if we remove value at the same time, our equation is still going to stay balanced. And when we do that, I'm going to subtract 3, and 18 minus 3 would leave us with 15. So now we are left with 3x equals 15. So that tells us that each x is going to be equivalent to 5. To go back and check, go ahead and set up your equation back to its original setup and go ahead and check it. So we have 4 5's, which would be 20, plus 3 would be 23. And over here we have 18 plus 5 would be 23. And 23 equals 23, so that tells us our equation is balanced and we have solved for x. Okay, friends, it's going to be your turn to try some algebraic equations for lesson 4. You're going to have a few problems that are going to be using our new legal move of removing the same value at the same time in order to keep both sides balanced. Don't forget, use those 2 hands. And I do recommend using the pieces because as the lessons get harder, you want to build that concrete understanding of algebra in your brains. Good luck.